Here are the 60 things Donald Trump has done or promised since his arrival at the White House. 1. Donald Trump announced the largest migrant deportation operation in American history. 2. Donald Trump required federal employees to stop teleworking and return to work in the office full-time under threat of dismissal. 3. Donald Trump requested the discontinuation of the production of the penny. 4. Donald Trump renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. 5. Donald Trump banned the U.S. military from recruiting transgender individuals. 6. Donald Trump claimed that Americans would plant their flag on Mars without specifying a date. 7. Donald Trump withdrew the United States from the Paris Climate Agreement. 8. Donald Trump expressed a desire to make Canada the 51st state of the United States, although Canada opposes this. 9. Donald Trump called Vladimir Putin to discuss, among other things, the war in Ukraine. It is the first time a U.S. president has called his Russian counterpart since 2021. 10. Donald Trump announced plans to send tens of thousands of undocumented migrants to Guantanamo. 11. Donald Trump announced plans to reconnect with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. 12. Donald Trump withdrew the United States from the World Health Organization, WHO. 13. Donald Trump enacted that there will officially be only two sexes in the United States, male and female. 14. Donald Trump launched a task force on cryptocurrencies to assess the creation and potential maintenance of a national stock of digital assets. 15. Donald Trump froze hiring in the federal public service, preventing the creation of any new civil servant positions for an indefinite period. 16. Donald Trump announced plans to make Gaza the Côte d'Azur of the Middle East by moving its population to other Arab countries so that the United States could take control of the territory. Arab representatives have expressed strong opposition to this idea. 17. Donald Trump imposed 10% tariffs on China. 18. Donald Trump re-added Cuba to the blacklist of countries supporting terrorism, a list that includes North Korea, Iran, and Syria. 19. Donald Trump announced plans to exploit oil and gas in Alaska. 20. Donald Trump announced plans to take control of Greenland, although Greenland and Denmark are opposed to this. 21. Donald Trump announced a plan to invest at least $500 billion over 4 years in American artificial intelligence. 22. Donald Trump extended the suspension of U.S. funding to the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA. 23. Donald Trump decided to cut public funding for facilities providing gender transition treatments for minors. 24. Donald Trump suspended all refugee arrivals to the United States until further notice, even for those who had been granted asylum. 25. Donald Trump ordered the construction of an Iron Dome-type anti-missile shield to protect the United States. 26. Donald Trump requested the cancellation of automatic birthright citizenship for children of illegal immigrants, a measure currently blocked by the American judiciary. 27. Donald Trump announced the imposition of tariffs on imported cars to the United States starting in April. 28. Donald Trump announced a return to plastic straws and the end of paper straws within the U.S. administration. 29. Donald Trump revisited the idea of the Salvadoran president to send American prisoners to a mega prison in El Salvador. 30. Donald Trump announced that gender transition operations will become very rare in the United States. 31. Since Donald Trump's arrival, the Spanish version of the White House website is no longer available. 32. Donald Trump deployed an additional 1,500 American military personnel to the Mexican border, an increase of 75% in manpower. 33. Donald Trump ordered the declassification of government archives on the assassinations of John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, and Martin Luther King. 34. Donald Trump canceled the temporary protected status granted to nearly 600,000 Venezuelans, a status that protected them from deportation and granted them work rights. 35. Donald Trump withdrew the United States from the UN Human Rights Council. 36. Donald Trump imposed 25% tariffs on imported steel and aluminum to the United States. 37. Donald Trump sanctioned the International Criminal Court, ICC, for engaging in unlawful and unfounded actions against America and our close ally Israel. The sanctions include banning entry to the United States for leaders, employees, and agents of the ICC, as well as some of their family members. 38. Donald Trump decided to designate MS-13 and Tren de Aragua, Salvadoran, and Venezuelan drug cartels as terrorists. 39. Donald Trump decided to cut federal subsidies to schools that allow transgender students to be members of female sports teams. 40. Donald Trump released a delivery of 1,800 bombs weighing 900 kilograms each to Israel, a delivery that had been suspended by Joe Biden. 41. Donald Trump threatened Mexico and Canada with imposing 25% tariffs before ultimately retracting his statements. 42. Donald Trump renamed Denali Mount McKinley. In 2015, Barack Obama had chosen to use the historic indigenous name Denali for the highest peak in North America. 43. Donald Trump promised to take back the Panama Canal, although Panama opposes this. 44. Donald Trump announced an end to all aid to South Africa because he accuses the country of discriminating against white farmers. 45. Donald Trump announced an end to funding for public schools that teach critical race theory or raise awareness about gender transition. 46. Donald Trump created a task force to immediately end all forms of discrimination against Christians within the government, the IRS, the FBI. 47. Donald Trump eliminated federal subsidies for the installation of electric vehicle charging stations. 48. Donald Trump reinstated a program concerning asylum seekers arriving via Mexico. These migrants must stay in Mexico while their applications are processed. 49. Donald Trump repealed 2 decrees that provided certain women with access to contraception and protected their personal data. 50. The spokesperson for Donald Trump encouraged independent journalists, podcasters, influencers, and content creators to request accreditations for the White House, alongside those granted to traditional media. 51. Donald Trump withdrew the United States from an international agreement with 140 countries that introduced a minimum tax of 15% on the profits of multinationals. 52. Donald Trump asked federal agencies promoting diversity and environmental justice to place their officials on forced leave and to fire them within 2 months. 53. Donald Trump declared a state of emergency at the Mexican border. 54. Donald Trump suspended for 75 days the enforcement of the law banning the social network TikTok in the United States. 55. Donald Trump froze $63 billion in international aid distributed annually by the United States. 56. The administration of Donald Trump fired nearly half of the epidemiology researchers at the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. 57. Donald Trump pardoned more than 1,500 people who stormed the Capitol on January 6, 2021, to denounce the alleged rigged election of Joe Biden. 58. Donald Trump secured the release of Mark Fogel, an American teacher detained in Russia since 2021, in exchange for Alexander Vinnik, a Russian computer expert detained in the USA since 2022. 59. Donald Trump called Ukraine President Zelensky a dictator without elections. 60. Donald Trump rescinded New York City congestion pricing, a daily $9 fee designed to reduce traffic in the heart of Manhattan. Please note that this list is not comprehensive. Additionally, some of these measures may never be implemented or could be challenged in U.S. courts.